Good morning, dear students. We are studying the techniques of scientific management, and in the previous class we have studied about the two types of studies, that is two parts of the work study, that is method study as well as motion study. Okay, so in method study we came to understand that we find out the best method of doing things. There are different methods are there, so we will evaluate different methods and find out which is the most suitable or most appropriate method. Okay, and the next technique that we have studied is about the motion study. So motion study is a kind of study conducted for finding out the amount of movements that we are making while we are doing a task. When work is done, how many number of movements that we are making, and we will distinguish between the necessary and unnecessary movements, and we will try to avoid the unnecessary movements so that the time spent for doing the work will be reduced, as well as the energy can be saved. It means that much amount of energy will not be lost. So these type of things we have studied. Next topic that we have to study is about the time study. Okay, time study refers to determining the standard time required to complete a particular activity. So in time study we will find out the standard time required for completing a job or a particular activity. The standard time is determined on the basis of average time taken by the several experiences of the same work. This study is conducted with the help of a stopwatch. Okay, so we know that there are this study is there, so we have to calculate the standard time required for completing a task. So the standard time is calculated with the help of different activities. So like we will do the work in different situations, okay, or different people. The work of different people and different situations at different times, they will calculate. So if we have to do the job on a particular machine, and how much time is taken for doing the work. So if there are different employees are there, so they will do, and with the help of the stopwatch they will calculate the time required for completing the task. So if there is, like imagine that if we have to do a particular kind of task, and one employee is taking 12 minutes time, another employee is taking 10 minutes time, and the third, so you see for example A, B and C, and another employee is taking 8 minutes time. Okay, so we can take the average of this one as total 30 divided by 3 and 10. Okay, so if for completing one task 10 hours is taken, so for one job, so we calculate this, set this one as a 10 as the standard time. Okay, so this may be done with different experiences or different situations, and we will calculate. So this is not only 3, there will be conducted with many people, many employees. So such a way they calculate the standard time. So this kind of study. So see, for example, if we have to do this one, we have to calculate the time required for completing this one by one person, the other person and the third person. Okay, so if there is a small work, maybe like a 12 minutes time only will be there. So 12 minutes, 10 minutes and 8 minutes, then average will get us 10 minutes. Okay, or if altogether if it is hours, then our hourly basis. Normally the calculation is conducted based on the minute basis. So how many minutes a particular activity, and they will not calculate the time for doing the entire task, but they will calculate for that particular activity, okay, any kind of a job that they have to perform, and they will set this time as the standard. And for the upcoming employees, they will have this standard time will be given. Okay, so any employee who is working in that organization need to complete the task within 10 minutes time, or within the standard time set. And if an employee is unable to complete the job in the given time, it understands that that employee is inefficient. Okay, so let us see what are the objectives of this study. The main objective of the study are to get the estimated figure of labor cost. So if we are able to understand the standard time for completing a task, see for example, if we consider that 3 hours, okay, for completing one job, we have 3 hours time, okay, and we need 100 products has to be completed. So for producing one product, 3 hours time is required. One product is equal to 3 hours. So 100 products are there, then we need 300 hours time. Okay. So 300 hours are there, and if for completing this one, 300 hours time required. So for doing the work of 300 hours, how many employees will be required? So for 300 hours will be there. So if we have to complete in one day, how many hours of time is given for an employee? Okay, so normally 8 hours time is given for an employee, or sometimes they will give 10 hours, imagine. Okay, so 10 hours is given for one employee, then we need 30 laborers required. 30 laborers are required for completing this task, because we need to complete 100 product. For completing one product, 3 hours time is taken. So total 300 hours will be there. So if 100 products has to be completed, then 30 laborers has to do the job. Okay, if in one day, if they are producing, if they are spending 10 hours in a day, if that way if we calculate. So if we have to calculate this one, and 300 rupees is the cost of labor. If one labor is costing 300 rupees, then for 30 labors there is 9,000 rupees expenditure will be there. Okay, so this is the labor cost. Okay, so so we can calculate how many rupees expenditure will be there. So based on this, so if we don't have this standard time, then we cannot calculate this one. So there is a standard time. So how many number of products has to be produced, and based on that we can calculate the labor cost. Okay. Hope you have understood about this one. This is about the time study, and this is the first objective of this one, to understand the labor cost, estimate the figure of labor cost. Second objective of this one, to determine the number of required workers. So here also we have calculated 30 laborers required. So already we have calculated. So when we calculated, so how many laborers are required, that also can be calculated. And if we have to do the job in one day, 330 laborers required. So if we are having only 10 laborers, then 3 days of work required. Okay, so whatever may be, see how many laborers are required. So within how much time we have to complete the job, that we will calculate. Based on that, we will be able to calculate the number of employees required, number of workers required. So depending on that, we have to call the laborers. Okay. Then one more objective is there, to decide about the suitable incentive plan. Okay. So we will also be able to find out, or else make the incentive plan. So imagine that, see, like they provide, if the standard time, as I told you, is given as like 10 hours. Okay, so one work completing 1 hour is to 10 hours time is there. So if an employee, so they will give incentive plan. For incentive plan means that if an employee is completing the task before this time, or within the time, so for them they will get an incentive, extra money. Okay, so they are having salary, along with that they will have incentives also. So depending on the standard time, the incentive plan will be calculated. Okay, so that is another objective of time study. Okay, so there are mainly 3 objectives of time study. First one is to understand the labor cost, how much would be the labor cost. Secondly, the number of laborers required for completing the task. And third one is for understanding or determining the incentive plan. Okay. Then next important technique that we have to study is about a fatigue study. It refers to determining the duration and frequency of rest intervals to complete a particular job. Okay, so fatigue study means to calculate the rest intervals required for how many number of rest intervals have to be given, and how much time of rest interval has to be given for completing a task. Okay, so for doing a job, see for example in our school we have schooling systems are there, and timetable, our timetable is set to that. See, first there are 2 periods, after that there is a break, again there are 2 periods, then again there is a long break. So here there is a 5 minutes break, here there is a 15 or a 20 minutes break, after that again 2 periods are there, then a 5 minutes break is there, after that 2. Okay, so and each period is calculated. See, like one period is about 45 minutes. So if one period is 45 minutes, then 1 hour 1 hour 30 minutes time. Between 1 hour 30 minutes time, you will get a break. So this is calculated for the study. So one period is of 45 minutes. 2 periods are there, 1 hour 30 minutes. After that you will get a 5 minutes break. So you study 2 hours, 2 periods. Then after that you get a break. Okay, so in the same way, when we have to do a job, for doing a particular job also, there we have to calculate the rest intervals required, how much rest interval is required, when it is required, all these type of things has to be calculated, and it is depending on the type of job that they are performing. Okay, so if it is a very heavy job, very complicated job, very tough task is there, then they need more rest interval, you know. And if it is a simple job, then that much amount of rest interval is not required. If it is like a very heavy labor work and all is there, so if they are carrying bricks or carrying cement or this type of job and all is there, so the person will get tired so much. Okay, so then they need rest interval, break has to be given. Okay, if we give too much break, then our time will be lost, the work will not be completed. And if we don't give break, then what will happen? The employees will get tired too much and they will not be able to perform, and the next day if you call them, they will not be ready to come. Okay, so that also is a big problem. So employees will get too much tired, so they need a break, they need a rest. So how much time is there? So the determination of the duration and frequency of a rest interval to complete a particular task. The rest refreshes the workers. They work again with their full capacity. The main objective of this study is to maintain the efficiency level of workers. There may be so many causes of fatigue, such as long working hours, poor working conditions, unsuitable work, unhappy relations with the boss, etc. And also there are also different reasons for the fatigue. Fatigue means that a person getting tired. Okay, tiredness. Okay, so for getting fatigue, their person getting tired, there are so many reasons. Like if we are having long hours of working hours, like morning in 8 o'clock they start the job, and up to evening 8 o'clock they have to do the job. So then all continuously 12 hours job. So if person is there, then he will get tired fast. But in many of the companies and all, they are having 8 hours. Okay, they have 3 shift. Okay, so 24 hours time is there, so it is divided into 3 shifts of 8 hours each. Okay, so sometimes you will get the first shift, sometimes you will get the second shift, sometimes you will get a night shift. So it is divided in that way. So sometimes if you are getting from morning till noon time, or noon time till evening time, or a full night job. So such a way this is there. So in some companies and all, especially some IT companies and all, which are having job all throughout the day. So the work will continue 24 hours. Okay, but people will be getting changed after each 8 hours. So a person will get a job for 8 hours. So first shift 10 employees will be doing the job. After that second shift, then next 10 employees will be there, and third shift another 10 employees will be there. So they have to work only, the employees have to work for 8 hours, and this 8 hours also again divided maybe into different in between there will be break. Okay, so such a way it is arranged. And also there are so many other reasons for poor working conditions. So if the company or the working condition of the organization is not good, then also people will get tired. If you are working with a machine and when the machine is not proper, if you have to do so much amount of work is required, and if greasing and all the things are done properly, and if there is a good machine and it is easy to operate, then there is no problem. But what happens is that sometimes when you are working with the wrong machines, then the people will get tired fast. Okay, Then another one is unsuitable work. So if the work is not suitable for the person, so that person, interest of the person will be there and the work is not matching, then also the person will get tired. And another reason is that unhappy relation with the boss. So if there is a supervisor and the employees are not satisfied with the supervisor, or supervisor is not satisfied with the worker, or if any unhappy relation between the supervisor is there, so then also people will get tired fast. So their mind is not willing to do the job, so they will all the more get tired. So these are the different reasons. So this is about the fatigue study. So today we have studied about a time study and fatigue study. Okay, so two studies are there. Already we have studied about other two studies. So there are 4 studies are there, and all these 4 studies combined together known as a work study. Okay, in work study there are 4 studies are there: method study, motion study, time study, and fatigue study. There are 4 different studies. Okay, and you have to study about these things. So this work study, and also about the other techniques of scientific management. So all the techniques of scientific management is very much important, and we have to study and understand about it. Okay, hope you have understood about it. Thank you so much.